Hey everyone, Brian from Copeland's Core Fitness here, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite drills for preventing lower back injuries and helping to eliminate low back pain. So for those of you who don't know, I suffered from severe lower back pain that shot down my leg and into my foot for about a decade. It was caused by two herniations or ruptures in my lower back discs, and I got to tell you, it was debilitating and awful. Now thankfully, after that 10 years of suffering, I was able to figure out how to fix it. And now I have zero back pain, and I have zero fear of re-injuring my back because I've created a supple, strong, mobile back that is just very resilient against injuries. And so today I'd like to share with you one of the drills that I did to become like that, just in case you're interested in becoming like that as well. But before we get into the drill, let's dig a little bit into why you need to do this drill and how your spine works. Your spine has 24 vertebrae, 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, and 5 lumbar. Each one of these 24 vertebrae need to be able to move, or your risk of injury goes way up. Each one moves just a small amount, and when they all move well, they can share the load. But if an area does not move well, then that means that the area right above or below that area will be forced into moving more than it anatomically should. And that is where we get disc herniations and start feeling sciatica pain. Okay, so before we get into the drill, I want to talk to anyone out there who is currently in pain. If you are experiencing severe low back pain, before you dive into this drill, I want you to go very gingerly into it. You might also consider going and seeking out two people. One is a qualified health professional who can look at your back and find out if you have any actual severe injury that needs to be treated more carefully. Two, you can go find a Z Health performance coach who has a lot of experience working with low back pain, who can help you work through this process and might even be able to find additional drills that are more important for you. Now, for those of you who just have some mild pain currently, I'm going to ask you to do two things while you do the drill. Number one, move a little bit more slowly, because oftentimes that will help get rid of your pain. And number two, if you need to, reduce the range of motion that we're going to move. Okay, here we go. Okay, here comes the drill. First things first, I want you to take your index finger and put it just below the waistband of your pants. Next, stack your middle, ring, and pinky finger vertically, like so, and that's going to cover your lumbar spine. Next, I want you to just kind of rub those fingers up and down, and what you're going to feel are some bumps. Those bumps are your spinious processes, which you can see here. And now, we're going to give ourselves a little karate chop right at the belly button. Now what I want you to think about doing in this drill is we're going to round our lower back, and we're going to round over that karate chop. You might think about it as a fence coming up and hitting you right at the belly button, and you need to reach something on the other side of that fence. And you're just going to round from your lumbar spine, and you're going to feel your fingers spread open or spread apart as you do the drill. Now, if you don't feel it right away, that's okay. Sometimes it takes a little while to get used to the sensation of feeling it, and sometimes it takes a little while to coax those vertebrae into moving. Now, since most people have very poor body awareness of their low back, because it's behind them, and they also have very poor movement quality back there, it's inevitable that you're probably going to find yourself making a couple of mistakes as you start doing this movement. The first one is you should not be able to reach your kneecaps. If you can reach your kneecaps, then what's happening is you're actually moving from your hips, not your low back. So a way that you can correct this is you can put something right behind you. You could stand with your back to a wall, and you want to have whatever it is, a countertop or that wall, about an inch behind your butt. That way, if you move back and you hit it, you know that you're actually moving from your hips and not from your lumbar spine. The next thing that people are going to do is they're going to move from this middle back area. They're going to round from the thoracic spine. Looks like this. Now, it's great to have mobility in your thoracic spine, but that's not the drill that we're currently working on. So, as you do this, to kind of take the movement out of that thoracic spine, I want you to think about keeping your spine straight and stiff and only moving from where you feel your fingers touching. You can rub your fingers up and down and really pay attention to that sensation. Now, back to the hips for a moment. Since you are displacing your weight forward, it's natural for your hips to move back just a little bit to offset your balance. That's okay, but you can learn to distinguish the difference between this, and maybe your hips move back just a little bit for balance, versus this. Okay, so if you're starting to get the hang of this, you're starting to feel your fingers spread apart, you're starting to feel those bones open up beneath your fingers, now we can take a little bit further and add a little bit of rotation. So for instance, here I am, I've rounded over that fence. Okay, I'm cueing here, cueing back here, rounded over the fence, and now I'm going to add a little bit of a rotation to my left and a rotation to my right. And this is going to add some twisting in the lumbar vertebrae to get them to move even better. Here's where you need to look out. The pelvis should not rotate, because if the pelvis is rotating, the spine is not rotating. So I want you to watch your pelvis when you start engaging twisting and make sure that it stays straight ahead. If it twists, okay, fix it. If it twists, go ahead and fix it. Keep trying to move from that lower back area. Okay, so to wrap things up, the next question is how much, how often? The general recommendation is to do dynamic joint mobility drills for 3 to 5 repetitions, 3 to 5 times per day. So that might mean 3 to 5 of these bends and maybe 3 to 5 little rotations, 3 to 5 times per day. Now, I myself, I love to do them as a warm-up before exercise and before I play sports such as soccer or martial arts. Incidentally, I don't get lower back injuries. Probably a little correlation and causation there. However, you could also do them anytime that your back is feeling a little stiff. Maybe you've been sitting down for a while, you get up, your back's a little stiff. Go ahead and do some of these drills. It's fantastic for you. You really can't overdo them unless you are currently in pain and you have a lot of inflammation going on. Otherwise, knock yourself out. I probably wouldn't do more than about 3 to 5 repetitions, because if you start doing 20 and 30 reps, your movement quality normally goes down, and next thing you know, you're rotating and bending from all over the place. So just keep your reps low and do it several times throughout the day if you want to do it more often. Now, personally, the version of the drill that I just showed you is kind of my beginner version that I show a lot of people. I do a more advanced version called a front lumbar circle. And you can find this on a DVD set called the R Phase, and that's put out by a company called Z Health Performance Solutions. If you are interested in preventing injuries in every single joint of your body by creating suppleness and mobility everywhere, I can't strongly enough recommend that you include daily dynamic joint mobility work for every joint in your body, fingers to toes, jaw, everything in between, as part of your regular exercise program. So I'll include a link to that product down in the description field, and hopefully it'll be popping up here in a box in just a moment. So anyway, folks, until next time, treat your body like a high performance machine and go do your daily maintenance, which in this case, dynamic joint mobility drills. See you next time.